Good evening, I'm Ian Hanomansing. Tonight, at least 4 Canadians may be affected as a desperate search continues.
We're hoping that she is in one of the hospitals.
Running out of time at that collapsed Miami condo. Also tonight, new federal guidance, what you can do once you've had 2 COVID shots. Lots to worry about as BC gets set to heat up.
We were inside our house and it's like scorching hot.
And the leader of a grieving community names a barrier to reconciliation.
I love living in Canada, but there is a accidental racism and ignorance in this country when it comes to history.
My conversation with Chief Cadmus Delorme. This is The National. Well, here's the view from above tonight as a frantic search continues in Florida nearly 2 days after a condo tower partially collapsed. But official word tonight adding urgency in this country. Global Affairs has said at least 4 Canadians could be affected, and a government source telling CBC News that means unaccounted for. Ottawa says officials are now in contact with families, though citing privacy gave no further details. 4 deaths have so far been confirmed, but U.S. officials say that nearly 160 people are missing. Chris Reyes has the latest on the search efforts.
In the rubble, ground crews are searching for a miracle. At a nearby center, families are waiting for one.
Full speed ahead on search and rescue. And you ask, why do we have hope? We have hope because that's what our search and rescue team tells us.
It's been more than 40 agonizing hours since this happened. That's the moment part of Champlain Towers, a 12-story condo near Miami, pancaked to the ground. It jolted residents in the early hours of Thursday.
Her bedroom, the master bedroom where she sleeps in, is right where the whole part collapsed. So we're hoping that she is in one of the hospitals. We just don't know when we're going to hear from them.
Bodies have been pulled from the rubble, but many more are still unaccounted for. That means workers on the ground are having to delicately dig through a mess of concrete.
We're using our dogs and our sonar and our cameras, everything possible, to seek places where there may still be people to be found.
The building was in the process of inspection and repairs when it collapsed. The recertification process is a requirement in that county every 40 years.
We need a definitive explanation for how this could have happened.
For now, the focus is on search and rescue, made difficult by overnight rains and the possibility that people are alive beneath the rubble. Workers on the ground are so committed, officials say some have to be forced to stop digging.
This work is being done at extreme risk to these individuals. Debris is falling on them as they do their work. We have structural engineers on site to assure that they will not be injured.
At the nearby reunification center, families are sharing DNA and any other information that could help identify the victims.
We don't have any plans. We're just waiting right here. As I told you, we're waiting for any miracle.
And on the ground, crews are working to produce that miracle. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
And our Katie Simpson has just arrived on scene in Surfside, Florida. And Katie, give us a sense of what's happening there now.
Well, the first thing you really notice when you pull up to the scene here, Ian, is the smell. It's something you obviously can't pick up through the television, but there is a cloud of smoke emerging from the rubble pile. And when you first pull up here, it is the first thing that sort of hits you. It smells metallic almost. And that we know there are some active fires in that rubble scene right now. The other thing is the heat. It's muggy and it's sweaty out here. And remember, some of those first responders are wearing 80 pounds of gear as they're trying to make their way through that rubble to try and carry out those search and rescue orders.
Katie, we have just 30 seconds left. Can you tell us what we know about the Canadians who are unaccounted for?
What we know is that the families of those Canadians reached out to the government in Ottawa to say, hey, we think we know people who might be there. That information is then passed on to the Consul General in Miami, and they're trying to confirm that the whereabouts of these 4 Canadians. The official language they're using is that they are possibly affected by this tragedy. But what I am told by government sources, that actually means that they're unaccounted for.
On scene, on the story, and I know you'll have more for us through the weekend. Katie, thank you very much. When George Floyd's murder was captured on video, it sparked a reckoning with anti-black racism. Today, Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer who murdered Floyd, received his sentence. Susan Ormiston has the punishment and what it means for those seeking justice.
My brother was murdered.
Derek Chauvin almost emotionless as George Floyd's brother struggled to ask what still torments him.
I wanted to know from the man himself, why? What were you thinking? What was going through your head when you had your knee on my brother's neck?
7-year-old Gianna said her dad's spirit was still around her.
I miss you and I love you.
Philonis said he still wrestles with nightmares.
For an entire year, I had to relive George being tortured to death.
The family impact of Floyd's murder, part of the sentencing, and for a first time from Chauvin's family, his mother defending her son.
My son's identity has also been reduced to that as a racist. None of these things are true, and that my son is a good man.
For more than a year, Chauvin has shown no remorse. He broke his silence today, but didn't apologize.
I want to give my condolences to the Floyd family. There's going to be some other information in the future that would be of interest.
He didn't explain, but he and 3 other officers face new and separate federal charges this fall. Judge Cahill said his ruling was not influenced by sympathy or public opinion.
The court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months.
That's 22 and a half years, less than what prosecutors wanted, 30 years, but a step ahead in a painful and exhausting battle for justice.
It's a start. I mean, you have to ask the question, is 22 years worth somebody's life?
Moving forward, what do we need to do or what needs to happen so we no longer have to go through this no more?
Today represents an opportunity to be a turning point in America. 1 down, 3 to go.
But many are left wondering, will America seize the opportunity?
So, Susan, the sentencing, obviously a significant milestone, but what's coming next?
Yeah, the next tough part, a policing reform act is still stuck in Congress. Multiple cities are debating whether to make changes to funding the police. And then there are the 3 trials of the other officers coming next year, and those may be more difficult to prosecute. So civil rights activists, they're empowered, but they're anxious to keep this momentum going in.
Thanks, Susan. After the discovery of hundreds of unmarked graves near a former residential school site at Cowessess First Nation in Saskatchewan, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau faced questions today about action.
We will put Indigenous peoples and their wishes for their loved ones, for their communities, at the very core of whatever next steps we take.
He announced another $5 million for the effort in Saskatchewan to find children who died at residential schools, on top of $27 million pledged for searches nationwide. But he sidestepped questions about supporting an investigation with the power to subpoena records. In the case of Cowessess and the similar discovery weeks ago in Kamloops, the Roman Catholic Church and the government are believed to be holding some important records. As Karen Pauls explains, the quest for those answers is growing.
Patricia Ballantyne is walking from the former residential school she attended in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, all the way to Ottawa. She started her walk of sorrow after hearing the remains of an estimated 215 children were detected at the Kamloops residential school. But her message became even more urgent this week with news of the preliminary discovery of 751 unmarked graves at the site of the Maryville School on the Cowessess First Nation.
I wanted to do something because I was feeling the hurt and pain of all the people and of all the parents that didn't get to see their loved ones.
Soon after the announcement yesterday, others expressed their pain and anger in different ways. This cathedral was vandalized.
There is deep sadness in the First Nations community, indeed amongst all Canadians, I hope, at this terrible discovery of the sins of our past.
One Catholic order says it will share all historical documents in its possession. The Missionary Oblates of Mary Immaculate operated 48 schools, including Kamloops and Cowessess. Though they've made similar commitments in the past, representatives are meeting with the National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation next week.
The truth is here, it's present, it's alive, it's real. It's not in the past. We're still negotiating for records to be found.
But Stephanie Scott adds,
so it's not only the churches that need to send us documents, it's also the Government of Canada.
We pray for the lost ones to find their way home.
Patricia Ballantyne feels with every step she takes, those unidentified children are joining her. And she believes Canadians are also finally starting to step up in solidarity and support. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
For the chief of Cowessess First Nation, what they found wasn't a discovery so much as a confirmation.
I grew up on Cowessess, and we were always told, stay on the path. There's unmarked graves here.
Chief Cadmus Delorme spoke to me about looking off the path to find those graves, the meaning of truth and reconciliation, and his hopes for Canada Day. That's coming up a little later in the show. And a reminder, the National Indian Residential School Crisis Line is available if you need help. The number on your screen is staffed 24 hours a day. Indigenous leaders in Manitoba have joined the Union of BC Indian Chiefs in calling for the resignation of Canada's Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations over a text message.
Those comments are very inflammatory. She needs to be held accountable.
Carolyn Bennett sent a one-word private text to Indigenous MP Jody Wilson-Raybould. In a tweet that was made public, Wilson-Raybould accused her former colleague of racism. The Prime Minister says he's disappointed by Bennett's comment.
What Minister Bennett did was wrong, and it was hurtful. But I know Carolyn's heart. I know how hard she has worked for decades on this issue, and I know how much more there is for us all to do.
And Bennett has apologized to her former cabinet colleague. A rally is being held in Edmonton tonight calling for action and protection for Muslim women after two were attacked in nearby St. Albert earlier this week. Elise Van Scheel is at the rally. And Elise, what's happening there?
Well, there's several hundred people here right now, and it's growing by the minute. The mood here is positive but somber. And of course, this rally is not just about the attack that happened this week, but about the other attacks that have happened so far this year and an entire community that doesn't feel safe. Near Alderwood Park, children bike down sidewalks lined with family homes. But just 2 days ago, two sisters wearing hijabs were attacked here in the middle of the day. A masked man pushed one to the ground, knocking her unconscious, then knocked down the second woman and held a knife to her throat. Both survived. Their attacker still hasn't been found.
To not be able to enjoy something as simple as walking through a park, it is scary.
It's difficult for these two friends to stand near where it happened. They've started walking in groups or asking male relatives to accompany them. They say they fear for their mothers, their daughters, and themselves.
That could have been me. Now if I go to the grocery store, I am scared that if someone is staring at me, what are they going to do? And that shouldn't be. Yeah. And the attack happened bright daylight. Yeah. It didn't happen, behind an alley at 12 o'clock at night.
Since December, there have been at least 7 incidents where Muslim women in Edmonton have been targeted, something the Premier calls deeply disturbing.
We condemn this kind of violence in the strongest possible terms. And sadly, it does appear to be part of a pattern of violence targeting Muslims in Alberta and people from visible minority backgrounds.
Alberta will be launching a provincial hate crimes unit to track and prosecute these kinds of attacks. But the women say action is needed now.
Honestly, we're not a threat.
And so is protection.
So, Elise, you mentioned people are looking for action. What are they asking for?
They want the government and law enforcement to do more. Like was mentioned in the piece, there is this hate crimes unit being developed, but the attacks are still happening, including the one that was in broad daylight this week. And of course, the people that we've spoken to say that education is a key piece, but so are consequences. Right before the show started, we actually saw a tweet from one of our provincial ministers that her daughter was attacked today in Calgary. And so people are saying that it's great to develop these things, but action needs to be taken sooner so that these women can live their normal lives without any fear, Ian.
Thanks, Elise. A teenager has been found guilty of sexual assault and assault committed against a student at a Toronto all-boys school in 2018. The attack happened in a locker room at St. Michael's College. The teenager, who can't be identified, was seen in a video holding down the victim while they were being assaulted. 4 other students had previously pleaded guilty in this case. Every day, hundreds of thousands of Canadians are rolling up their sleeves to get a COVID vaccine, and today, federal health officials issued new guidance on how those people should now approach gatherings and other social situations. So far, 76% of eligible Canadians, those 12 and over, have had at least one shot, and about 28% have had both. They are considered fully vaccinated. Carolyn Dunn takes us through the new guidance.
University student Taylor Watson says she wants to get her second COVID vaccine very badly.
I know to have the shot, you're going to be prevented against COVID-19, and you're able to do more things once you have the shot.
Canada's public health agency released its long-awaited guidelines for what doing more things might look like for those fully vaccinated. Masks and physical distancing are no longer recommended for fully vaccinated people attending small outdoor gatherings like barbecues, camping, outdoor weddings, and sports. Indoors, fully vaccinated people can have close, maskless contact with small groups of other fully vaccinated people too. But the Public Health Agency says double-dose people should still consider masking and distancing indoors where unvaccinated people may gather, like gyms and faith services. The Canadian guidance is much more cautious than the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, which gave controversial advice to double-dosed Americans to return to life as normal.
The CDC guidance, it makes it seem straightforward. Yes, I have my 2 vaccines. I can do whatever I want. And we're saying, no, it's much more nuanced than that.
Nuanced, but perhaps moot advice for some, given it also came with this caveat.
Things are not the same everywhere. So it is important to continue following local public health advice.
Come July in Calgary, residents will have to sort through 3 different public health rules or recommendations from 3 levels of government.
We've gotten to the point where there's so many mixed messages coming from so many places that it's like, it comes back to just like, how do you make life decisions?
It informs me a little bit. It's not too relevant to me.
Federal health officials say 3/4 of the population will need to be double vaccinated before they recommend lifting indoor restrictions. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Calgary.
And those new guidelines today came with a warning about what could happen this fall and winter if that more contagious Delta variant starts spreading widely. Federal modeling shows it would have the potential to drive cases up so high hospitals could become overwhelmed, but that could be avoided if personal protective measures continue until 80% of the population is fully vaccinated. Dr. Theresa Tam today said increasing vaccinations among younger adults is key. Sunwing has reached a deal with the government and now says it's ready to offer full refunds for flights canceled due to the pandemic. This also applies to hotels and vacation packages. Those who are eligible should submit their request online by the end of August. A heat wave is on here in BC, expected to push into the high 30s, maybe even the low 40s. As Katie Nicholson tells us, there could be some dangerous consequences, not just in the week ahead, but throughout the summer.
As you can already see, this is bad. This is really bad.
The soil at Ali Hakak's blueberry farm is bone dry, and there are more days of punishing heat ahead.
I hope they don't damage the berries, but honestly, at this point, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and hope for the best this year.
Soaring temperatures also mean an ever-escalating risk of fire.
So that would easily catch fire and begin to spread.
Experts see similarities between this weather system and the one in 2017 that resulted in a harsh fire season that burned 1.2 million hectares of forest.
Hot, dry conditions like this early in the season are very foreboding. The weather system is very similar. The timing, it's a little bit earlier and a little bit hotter this time.
Fire isn't the only risk. Death is a possibility for those without shelter.
Several years ago, there was a man who died in Grandview Park, and we know that he died because of the heat. That is our biggest fear.
Many organizations are fanning out across BC, handing out water and sunscreen. Many are opening their doors as cooling centers. Only 40% of homes in BC have air conditioning, far below the Canadian average. Despite that, BC Hydro expects to shatter summer energy consumption records as demands go up 20%. By afternoon, many had already ditched the office or their homes, flocking to nature's air conditioner, the beach, like Omar Ibrahim and his son, Mateo.
We were inside our house and it was like scorching hot, and even though our ACs are there.
As the weekend rolls on, it's only going to get worse. Nothing to do but hit the water and ride this heat wave out. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Vancouver.
Well, let's bring in CBC meteorologist Johanna Wagstaff. And Joe, I've been out here for a long time. I have never seen a forecast like this one.
No, neither have I, Ian. Not only for how hot temperatures in British Columbia are going to get this weekend, it's how long this event is. We're talking 4-5 days of 40-degree weather for parts of southern BC, and how wide-reaching this is all the way up to northern British Columbia, pretty much the entire province under this heat warning. But these numbers are truly historic, reaching the high 30s over the weekend and into early next week for Metro Vancouver, places like Abbotsford in the Fraser Valley, Kelowna in the interior, and Port Alberni on the island. 4 to 5 days of 40-degree weather. So breaking all-time records, but this one really got me, Ian. We have a chance to, not that we want to, make a new record for hottest temperature ever recorded in British Columbia if we get over 45 degrees.
Yeah, astounding is the word of the day to describe what's happening here in terms of temperatures, and it's not just going to end up being a BC story.
That's right. This whole heat dome shifting east over the weekend. Alberta, you're going to see some record challenging temperatures. Edmonton and Calgary could break all-time records with numbers into the high 30s. Saskatchewan, this will be your story for early next week. And Northwest Territories and all the way down into California, all feeling the heat. Millions of us under this heat dome for the next few days, Ian.
Always great having you on the show, Johanna. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The city of Montreal is ready for the Stanley Cup final.
Amazing feeling, really.
It's the vibe, it's the energy, the city has come alive.
Up next, a big boost as the city emerges from the pandemic.
It's like it's erased COVID.
There are people out there.
The curtain lifts on a post-pandemic summer blockbuster. Is it time for the comeback of Canadian movie theaters?
I cried when I sat in my first screening in the dark.
And the quick-thinking 12-year-old who helped save her neighbors from a fire.
They're like, "You are the reason I woke up. We heard you."
We're back in 2.
Some Leaf fans are now saying Montreal is Canada's team.
Those people aren't Leafs fans. You don't cheer for the Habs. They wouldn't cheer for us, we don't cheer for them.
We definitely didn't punch our ticket when we had the chance, but keep it Canadian. That's what I say.
Are you going to cheer for the Habs in the final?
God, no. No. Hard no. Never.
Go Habs, go.
So some Toronto hockey fans, they're talking about whether they can cheer on their rivals in the Stanley Cup final, even if the Habs are the only Canadian team left. In Montreal, of course, fans couldn't be more excited. As Alison Northcott tells us, it's giving the city a badly needed boost during this pandemic.
It's been 28 years since Habs fans could celebrate a win like this.
Game was good. We won.
It was an exuberant and rowdy night, and there were some incidents of vandalism and violence. At some points, police used tear gas to disperse the crowds. But this morning, for many, the joy of the win still lingered.
Amazing feeling, really. It was, my throat is all scratchy just from screaming, yelling.
It's the vibe, it's the energy, the city has come alive.
It's big. After COVID and everyone being locked in, and this is huge.
Huge, too, for downtown businesses after months of pandemic uncertainty.
What was it like last night?
What can I tell you? It's like a super busy. Last 22 years I'm here, I never see that kind of busy.
It's like it's erased COVID in people's minds. It's amazing. We with the Habs, and then we got the Euro during the day. This is just pushed us to another level.
At this store selling Habs merchandise, some waited in line for more than an hour to get in and shop.
There's been so many heroes in the playoffs that my merch at home has to catch up.
We are from Winnipeg, so we promised our 2 boys that we would buy them jerseys.
After getting her second vaccine dose, Mayor Valerie Plante said the city has come a long way.
There's such a great link between the Abs winning and getting so far, and also how Montreal started the pandemic, where we were the epicenter, and now we became a model for other big cities.
Still, public health officials are warning about large gatherings like this, because while Quebec's vaccination campaign is going well, it's not over yet.
While the situation is very, very good, it wouldn't take much to turn it in the opposite direction.
But it will be hard to contain Montreal fans' excitement and emotion as they cheer on the first Canadian team to make the Stanley Cup final in a decade. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Next on The National, a conversation with the chief of Cowessess First Nation.
We're not asking for pity. We're asking for understanding.
We talk about the discovery of those unmarked graves, what he wants others across the country to know, and his thoughts on Canada Day.
To the members of the Cowessess community and Treaty 4 communities, we are sorry. It was something that we cannot undo in the past, but we can pledge ourselves every day to fix in the present and into the future.
An apology from the Prime Minister today in response to the discovery of hundreds of unmarked graves near the site of a former residential school in Saskatchewan. Justin Trudeau said he spoke with the chief of the Cowessess First Nation and offered the federal government's support to the communities grieving. I had the opportunity to connect with Chief Delorme earlier today and ask him about how he's feeling in this moment and his message to Canadians. Chief Delorme, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Ian.
You've had a couple of days now, I guess, to process this latest news. So on this Friday, how are you and your community doing?
Today I'm following up with some of my citizens, members that are survivors of residential school. Yesterday was very heavy on them. As a spokesperson for Cowessess First Nation, the message I delivered yesterday was heartbreaking to many, opening eyes for some. So this morning, the work continues. We are still working on confirming our numbers and making sure the mental, emotional support is there for all that this may have triggered.
I read a story, Chief, where you were quoted as saying, "We always knew the graves were there." What changed then once you got the results of this ground radar?
As a kid, I grew up on Cowessess, and we were always told, "Stay on the path. That there's unmarked graves here." And just being a kid, we just listened and did what we were told. And when we started this in June, we bought a pack of 200 flags. I estimated, I was saying maybe 200 to 300. And after the second day, we ran out of our flags, and we still had a lot of square meters to go over. So as we started to do more and more and more, started to get more emotional, and people started to show up and like, what are all these flags? And trying to explain to the community and passerbyers, it was getting very heavy and emotional. And when we finished, that number was just heartbreaking. And when we were doing the search, we started a 2 meter by 2 meter. And one of our locals that is an expert in this, her name is Barb, she said, let's do 1 meter by 1 meter. And we started to pick up more. And, just the size of 1 meter by 1 meter made us realize that these are probably not adults under here right now. So it just, it's really just pulls at the emotional, mental side of even myself.
For the people who are watching right now across the country, many of them not Indigenous, what's your message to them?
From a First Nation perspective, I love living in Canada. I went to university. I grew up on Cowessess. I have the best job I think I've ever wanted, is being chief. It's not an easy task. But there is a accidental racism and ignorance in this country when it comes to history. Indigenous people, and I'm speaking from Cowessess perspective, we don't want to live in our current state. We want to be a part of the economy. We want to be a part of the growth. the social lives. But sometimes in this country, being Indigenous, it's as if you got to prove yourself a little more, or it's just so you're so used to seeing maybe someone asking for change and being Indigenous, and there's a story behind every one of the history that we inherited. So my comment to everybody listening is, from Cowessess, we're not asking for pity. We're asking for understanding. We're asking that you stand beside us, that as we are gaining our control again as Indigenous people in our treaty relationship, that we have better understanding, that our kids going to school understand the impact residential school made, but also even what great economy the Indigenous people had prior to treaty. And this country would be so much more well off when Indigenous ideology and understanding is welcomed in and not just brought in on certain days of the year.
One last thing, Chief. There has been a debate raging among some Canadians in the last few days about Canada Day, and some people are saying that we should cancel Canada Day given discoveries like the one at your First Nation. What's your view on that?
I would never tell somebody what to and what not to celebrate. In 2021, we all inherited this. Nobody today created residential schools. Nobody today created the Indian Act. Nobody today created 60 Scoop. But we all inherited this. And if we want to say we're proud Canadians, then we will accept the beautiful country we have today, and we will accept what we all inherited. And what I would challenge is everybody on Canada Day in this country, if you say you're a proud Canadian, read the Truth and Reconciliation calls to action. The over 100,000 residential school survivors told their story, including my parents, and they created the Truth and Reconciliation calls to action. Bring that into your personal life, your social life, your business life, and read the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls calls to action. There's 231 calls to action. And if we can all own those a little bit in this country, in one generation, we would overcome so many challenges today that our next generation won't inherit this. We will make them more as dreamers.
It's really nice hearing your perspective, and I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, Chief. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian.
And a reminder, the National Indian Residential School Crisis Line is available if you need help. The number on your screen is staffed 24 hours a day. Next, a look at how Canada's biggest city is attempting to change how it responds to people in crisis. Do you think it's going to save lives?
It absolutely will save lives.
We'll hear how right after the break.
As sentenced for count 1, the court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. That's 270.
That is former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, stoic as he received his 22.5-year sentence, punishment for the murder of George Floyd in May of last year. Floyd's murder spurred activism against anti-black racism around the world, as well as a push to reform policing and search for alternatives. That push is happening here too. In the Greater Toronto area, it's been amplified by the deaths of Ijaz Chowdhury, DeAndre Campbell, and Regis Korchinski-Paquette. All three died in confrontations with police. All three people of color. Unlike George Floyd, each of them was in the midst of a mental health crisis. The officers involved were cleared of wrongdoing in all three cases, but could it have turned out differently? The City of Toronto has launched an $11 million program to create teams that can respond to mental health calls without police officers. It is the largest single policing alternative program created in Canada since Floyd's murder. I was in Toronto on assignment, so took the opportunity to sit down in the neighborhood of Regent Park with Denise Campbell, the woman leading the effort. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You know, in the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd, a lot of people in North America talked about defunding the police. What does that phrase mean to you?
That phrase means that the police, the institution of policing, doesn't wholly have the trust and confidence of all people that it's meant to protect and serve. It means that governments and police need to look at that institution and reimagine it. It means that we need different responses. And it means that some of the resources that goes into policing need to fund proactive and preventative responses.
And so describe for me how your pilot project would be different when it comes to responding to calls.
So we are building a community crisis support service here in Toronto. That service is non-police led and non-police intervened. And so what that means is we're building mobile crisis intervention teams that will work for community agencies, so maybe a community health center and some service partners. These mobile crisis teams may have nurses, elders, harm reduction and crisis workers, peers, and they'll go into a community when the call comes in for someone that's experiencing a mental health crisis or having a substance use issue, and provide them with the kinds of supports that they need to get them connected to services, maybe a detox bed, whatever they need to be able to withstand the crisis that they're in, and hopefully connect them to long-term services. That's not a policing response.
So if this pilot project works the way you hope it does, and if it's expanded, what's different? What will change in terms of outcomes?
So I think the long-term view is still to be negotiated, whether this service sits alongside something that happens within police. But community vision, and I believe what Toronto City Council is supporting, is a wholly independent, community-led service, and that's going to actually support Torontonians in having a healthcare response to a mental health crisis and connect them to the kinds of services that they need in the long term.
Do you think it's going to save lives?
It absolutely will save lives. And that is, I think that is incredible and terrifying at the same time.
Terrifying in what way?
Well, I'm a public servant that at the end of the day is really about creating the types of change that will really work for Torontonians. And the fact that people's life could be at risk if we get this model wrong weighs on me and weighs on my team. And it certainly is something that's important to community and that we've heard a lot about. So there's interest for us to go big. There's interest for us to do this fast. And one of the things that anchors us in this work is do no harm.
One of the challenges I can think of is where you have somebody who's in mental distress, let's say in the city of Toronto, threatening to harm themselves with a knife. So they have the weapon in their hand. How, in your pilot project, would your team deal with that without the police?
So first of all, the teams would include people who are trained in harm reduction, in de-escalation techniques, and that would be a skill set that they'd be using in response to calls where that kind of threat is present. We've also looked at, 53 models across 50 jurisdictions, and one of the things we've learned about some of the ones that have been long-standing, like Cahoots in Oregon, is that it's a very, very tiny percentage of calls where there's any violence as part of the scenario. And then ultimately, though, we're not saying police have no role, because if there is a situation in which violence is very present, then of course police can come and support the team. It's just not the first response or the default response.
One last question. What do you hope the legacy of George Floyd is in Canada?
I hope that the legacy of the murder of George Floyd is that institutions of policing and governments really look at themselves, own the fact that systemic racism, systemic anti-Black and anti-Indigenous racism and bias is very much part of that structure, and that they need to do some fundamental things to win back the trust and confidence of all people that they're mandated to protect and serve. And that maybe it's about detasking the police from some of the things that they've taken on over time that really isn't appropriate for a law enforcement role. And maybe ultimately that some of those resources actually go to supporting more proactive and preventative things that would actually support communities to thrive.
Lots of interesting stuff. Really nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. Thank you.
Still ahead, the push to get Canadians back to that cinematic experience.
It's like hearing people laugh, hearing people sigh, breathe.
As summer blockbusters emerge, it's not just COVID keeping some Canadians home. We'll take a look at the impact of streaming next. A sure sign this weekend that life may be returning to normal. With COVID restrictions lifting, the first big blockbuster of the summer, or last summer for that matter, is out. But not necessarily in a theater near you. Eli Glasner explains.
We've gone through a year that tested us.
The opening of Fast and Furious 9 is being hyped as a big return for the industry.
There's nothing like that moment when the lights go down.
But in Manitoba and Ontario, film fans are stuck spinning their wheels. As of next Wednesday, the mall behind me will be open for business at a limited capacity, but not the movie theater inside. In fact, all indoor screens across Ontario remain off limits. The extended COVID closure has hit Cineplex, Canada's largest movie chain, hard. Last year alone, they posted a net income loss of $629 million.
I would have loved to have seen movie theaters, even with the lower capacity, reopen.
I came here to take you down, little brother.
The CEO can only look on in envy as F9 revs up box offices in other provinces and around the world.
I would say look at the science and look at the facts. And, we have got to a point where Quebec is doing extremely well based on the capacity and what we are allowed to do.
Where theaters are open, fans are returning.
There are people out there.
Last May, A Quiet Place 2 earned over $58 million opening weekend, while F9 has already brought in over $300 million globally.
I cried when I sat in my first screening in the dark, but it was really emotional.
Even fully vaccinated, this Canadian film critic hesitated, but once inside, she realized what she'd missed.
Just like hearing people laugh, hearing people sigh, breathe, make noises of awe.
What in the Matrix hell?
But with the rise of streaming, whether it's Space Jam or the next superhero spectacular, many of this summer's biggest films are all just a click away at a premium price.
I think it is the new normal, whether we like it or not. And I think theatrical moviegoing is going to coexist with it. It's just a matter of how that's going to look.
As the industry waits to see whether audiences will flock back to share those collective moments in the dark. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.
Coming up, a middle schooler is praised by her community for how she responded to a major fire. Her courage and compassion is next in our moment. An apartment building in flames, residents scrambling in the middle of the night. When it was over, fire officials were thanking a brave young woman. A 12-year-old from PEI helped wake up her neighbors in time for them to get out uninjured, and she is our moment tonight.
I woke up to the fire alarms going off, but I thought it was my dad's alarm clock. And then when I realized it wasn't coming from his clock, I woke him up and we looked around to see what was going on. This guy came running down our stairs trying to bang on everybody's door, like, there's a fire in my apartment. I went outside and I started yelling, there's a fire, somebody please help. After that, everybody came out. We ran to the back and I just saw a bunch of fire coming out this guy's window. And like 5 people called 911 at this point. So we waited for them to come and they started putting out the fire. I was able to grab a blanket, a stuffed bear, and my iPad so I could still contact my friends and tell them what happened. This guy, he came over to me and he's like, the reason I woke up is because you were yelling. That must have gotten people up. I didn't know it had gotten that many people up, but apparently it did. And I was just talking to a bunch of different people and they're like, you are the reason I woke up, we heard you. It feels really good. I'm feeling really good about it, about what I did.
So this is a day on the National where we've had some really interesting people interviewed, and Maxine is certainly among those. A reporter who was on the scene said virtually everybody he talked to from that apartment building said indeed it was Maxine who was responsible for getting them out of the building. She had school today. You might think after all this excitement and adulation, she might have taken the day off, but absolutely not, because it was grade 6 graduation day. So double congratulations. That is the National for June 25th. I hope you can join me on Sunday for Cross Country Checkup on CBC Radio. It's live at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific, then later that evening back here on the National. Good night.